Police departments across the nation are turning to lateral transfers to bring in more experienced officers. Local department heads we spoke with said this tactic might be working. Yet another school shooting. What local moms and school counselors have to say about the tragedy. The Federal Reserve announced its toughest policy move since the 1980s, another interest rate hike. This hike is the fourth consecutive one in an effort to cool down inflation. The party that wins the control of the U.S. House today will be able to pick the House Speaker, and 2 people are likely up for the job. According to the Gun Violence Archive, there have been more than 30 mass shootings in the country this year, killing 50 people and injuring 125 others. Record inflation is being felt deep in the wallets of Americans, but are we beginning to see signs of peaking ahead of this holiday season?
Mercy Health and Toledo's Violence Interrupter team are coming together to try and stop the violence in the city.
The 2 groups got together this morning to talk about ways that they can do that to help vulnerable people in the community. 13 ABC's Brenna Nye has the story.
Toledo's Interrupter team met Wednesday morning with members of the Mercy Health Toledo Trauma Recovery Center and the Forensic Nursing Program to address what they can do together to help members of the community.
The reason that we're here today is to share resources, to bring these parties together and basically talk about how we can fix the problem together. It really is that simple.
The Violence Interrupter team started back in 2021. The team of 6 says it works with some of the most vulnerable people in Toledo. One of their goals is to stop the cycle of violence by addressing victims' needs when they need help the most. This partnership with Mercy Health hopes to expand those resources. Vice President of Mercy Health Business Development, Matt Sapera, says the goal of today's meeting is for the Interrupter team to understand what resources Mercy can offer to them to help with their mission.
It caused us to step back and think, okay, how can we be a better partner? How can we work together? Everyone has the same goal. They want this violence to stop and to end, and this is one of our paths to make that happen.
The Deputy Director of Public Safety, Angel Tucker, said that the Interrupter's job is to bring comfort to those that are in an uncomfortable situation.
When you see this logo, you know you have a friend, you know you have a resource, you know you have someone you can go to, someone you can talk to.
And Isaac Miles, an outreach specialist for the Interrupter team, says there's no better feeling than that.
It's nothing more rewarding than to help change someone's life or help someone get out of their situation when it's a bad situation.
In Toledo, Brenna Nye, 13 ABC Action News. This week is Global Entrepreneurship Week, and the College of Business at Ohio University is celebrating with a variety of events to showcase and promote local entrepreneurship. I attended the event to check out what was for sale. With more than 20 different vendors, visitors could browse numerous products and services, including crochets, jewelry, and various artworks. Shane Anglin is a ceramic artist who focuses on creating usable pottery, such as vases, bowls, and mugs.
I started shining on pottery just within the last year. I've always been a hobbyist, so I decided to give it a go and see if my hobby will pan out and pay for itself.
Anglin says he began this hobby last year and is hoping his interest will create a name for himself. Chloe Good feels the same way as she started up her own photography business. Good says this started out just as nature photography, and then she shifted her market toward underclassmen who were looking for early senior photo sessions and added a twist.
There's something really nice about just having a Polaroid, and you look at it and you feel something.
But for some, Startup Market isn't about selling stuff, but an opportunity to test out an idea.
This is a really low stakes, no risk opportunity for students who are making stickers or running their small businesses or even just experimenting with an idea and are wondering, is there a market for this? Are people interested in it?
Organizers say the goal of the event is to inspire small businesses and entrepreneurship throughout the area. The Center for Entrepreneurship's mission is to prepare every Ohio University student, graduate, and partner with an entrepreneurial mindset and skills. Their goal is to help prepare students for whatever path they take in the business world. Geyer says this is the first year the Center for Entrepreneurship has put on this event, and she's excited to see the skill set of everyone involved and the success this year brings in for future events.
Just a way to kind of celebrate and promote entrepreneurship and small business in southeastern Ohio.
Geyer also says the Center for Entrepreneurship is open to putting on more events like this if there is piqued interest. I am out in front of the Toledo home that caught fire early this morning that has left 2 dead and 1 injured. The 911 call came in around 3:30 Wednesday morning.
Structure fire. 1028 North Superior Street.
When Toledo Fire and Rescue arrived on scene, right away they saw an injured victim outside the home. The man reportedly jumped from a second-story window, according to TFRD, and was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. After gaining control of the fire and searching the home, investigators confirmed that they found 2 deceased females. This is the 6th and 7th fire-related fatalities in the city of Toledo in 2022. Neighbors that witnessed the tragedy showed me a trail of blood that began at the front of the fire scene and trailed off down the street.
That's a lot of blood.
A spokesperson for the Toledo Fire Department confirmed that this blood came from the victim that jumped out the window. I spoke with some other neighbors about the tragedy and why, for some, incidents like this can be emotional.
Because I live around here. It scared me. Plain and simple.
Chief Allison Armstrong of Toledo Fire Department says one way to try and avoid house fires is to make sure you have smoke detectors. Armstrong says both the Red Cross and the City of Toledo will even supply smoke detectors if you don't have any.
It is extremely important to have working smoke detectors. Each level of your home, if you can have them in each room, that's better.
Even though no information has been released about the identity or cause of death of either victim, a tragedy like this can really take a toll on the community.
It's just one of those things that you gotta process in your mind and deal with.
The cause of this fire is still under investigation. Reporting in Toledo, Brenna Nye, 13 ABC Action News. The whole thing was caught on camera. In the video, you see a man wearing a blue face mask walking out of the store with a cart full of unpaid merchandise. It's not only happening at this Perrysburg Township Lowe's, but others throughout the area.
He takes his time, he picks what he wants, and he walks out the doors.
Surveillance video from the Perrysburg Township Lowe's shows a man stealing a cart full of materials. Watch as an employee motions towards him as he's walking out the door, but he casually strolls past them. The suspect is accused of taking up to $36,000 worth of merchandise from dozens of Lowe's stores.
Stores have their policies as to what their employees can and cannot do, and so they're dictated by what they can do. And again, that's very frustrating for the store employees to have to watch people push out large thousands of dollars worth of merchandise.
Detective Chris Kluwer with Perrysburg Township Police says this man got away with $7,300 worth of items just from the Perrysburg Township Lowe's. He adds this type of crime is becoming more popular in the area.
It's opportunities, so as long as the opportunity is there, they're going to cash in on the opportunity.
So what's being done to stop these thefts? Detective Kluwer says they're working closely with retail stores to catch these crooks.
I know there's some state legislation that's trying to be pushed through to try to combat some of this retail theft that we have going on.
All of this in an effort to make it harder for thieves to get away with this. Detective Kluwer says the next step is to check surveillance video and keep up with Crime Stoppers to identify the suspect. They say he got away in a gray Dodge Ram 1500. If you see him, call police. Reporting in Perrysburg Township, Brenna Nye, 13 ABC Action News. Gathering and dumping dirt, picking out seeds, and creating compost. It is all in a day's lesson for Mrs. Swatzel's first grade class at Morrison Gordon Elementary.
That's been the really neat thing, is just watching them carry huge bucketfuls of things with big smiles on their faces.
All this digging, watering, and planting is part of Community Food Initiative's Sprouts program.
Sprouts is a garden-based outdoor curriculum designed for a first grade audience. We do hands-on interactive multi-sensory lessons, both in the classrooms related to garden education and outside in school garden spaces.
CFI started this program in 2019 with the goal of teaching kids how fruits and vegetables get from the garden to a plate by having them grow their own food.
The goal of the program is to bring children outside, essentially, but in a really different way. It's not necessarily going outside for recess, it's going outside in the garden time and getting to see firsthand where their food comes from and to see what it's like to grow things to themselves, to get their hands in the dirt, essentially.
One of the activities includes creating a compost stew for the worms in the garden by using newspaper clippings, leaves, and old vegetable scraps. The stew is then put into the composter, mixed up, and left over the winter to decompose and be ready for planting in the spring.
When they get done, they're pretty tired, but still they're happy. And when they are out here, they are engaged the entire time. They're able to go from thing to thing, and explore different things that they wouldn't have had an opportunity to do otherwise.
And from a student's perspective, the best part is that they
get to help the worm bees.
Reporting for Newswatch, I'm Brenna Nye in Athens.